20 oldest vintage boats that you didn't know exist. The world's oldest ship was found buried under a modern city street, completely intact. A boat so old that it sailed the water before the Vikings, before the Roman Empire, and even before the Great Pyramids were built. Some of these ancient vessels are so well preserved that they look like they could set sail today. Stay tuned, because number 1 will blow your mind. It's still functional after thousands of years. Number 20. HMS Trincomalee, 1817. A warship from 1817 is still afloat? How is that possible? HMS Trincomalee, launched in 1817, is one of the oldest surviving warships still on water. Built in Bombay, now Mumbai, India, from teak wood due to Britain's oak shortage, this ship was designed for naval superiority but never saw battle. Instead, she played crucial roles in anti-slavery patrols and later became a training ship. You can walk her decks today at the National Museum of the Royal Navy in Hartlepool. Imagine standing where sailors once prepared for war but never fired a shot. Number 19. USS Constitution, 1797. They fired, but their cannonballs bounced off. Was this ship invincible? Nicknamed Old Ironsides, the USS Constitution is America's most legendary warship. During the War of 1812, British sailors were stunned as their cannonballs seemed to bounce off her thick oak hull, earning her this famous name. She defeated 4 British warships, proving American naval dominance. What's even more unbelievable? The USS Constitution still sails today. As the world's oldest commissioned warship, she welcomes visitors in Boston, where you can witness naval history alive and in motion. If walls could talk, imagine what this ship would say. Number 18. HMS Victory, 1765. This is the ship where Admiral Nelson gave his final orders. Launched in 1765, HMS Victory became Admiral Lord Nelson's flagship at the Battle of Trafalgar, 1805, the most famous naval battle in British history. Nelson was shot on his deck, but won the battle before dying. His final words, "Thank God I have done my duty." This 257-year-old warship still stands tall at Portsmouth Historic Dockyard, England. Visitors can explore its original cannons, cabins, and decks, walking through a living battlefield frozen in time. Would you dare to step onto the deck where Nelson died? Number 17. Peggy of Castletown, 1789. A yacht hidden behind a wall? What secrets did it hold? The Peggy of Castletown, built in 1789, was mysteriously bricked up in a cellar for over 150 years, before being rediscovered in 1935. It's the oldest surviving yacht in the British Isles and was owned by George Quayle, a wealthy politician, banker, and suspected smuggler. Some historians believe the Peggy was used in secret missions or even smuggling operations. Today, she sits in the Nautical Museum on the Isle of Man, an untouched relic from an era of sail, trade, and hidden mysteries. Number 16. The Ganji Sawai Ship, 17th century. The pirate attack that shook an empire. This ship had everything. The Ganji Sawai, a Mughal treasure ship, was one of the most feared and powerful vessels of its time. Armed with cannons and carrying enormous wealth, it was attacked by the notorious pirate Henry Every in 1695. What followed was one of the most brutal pirate raids in history. Accounts claim that pirates tortured, looted, and assaulted passengers before disappearing with millions in gold and silver. The attack shook the Mughal Empire and led to one of the first global manhunts for a pirate. But what happened to Henry Every? He vanished without a trace. Did you know the Ganji Sawai's loot will be worth over $100 million today? This single attack made Henry Every the richest pirate in history, and he was never caught. His whereabouts remain unknown, making it one of the greatest pirate mysteries ever. Number 15. Skuldelev ships, 11th century AD. Why would Vikings sink their own ships? A mystery unfolds. In the 11th century, 5 Viking ships were deliberately sunk in Denmark's Peberenden Channel. Why? To block enemy invasions. These ships, discovered in 1962, reveal the tactical genius of the Vikings. They literally sacrificed their own fleet to control enemy movements. Among them, Skudelev II, built in Dublin around 1042, was a massive 30-meter warship. Each ship, whether for war, trade, or fishing, tells a story of Viking dominance. Now displayed in Roskild's Viking Ship Museum, these vessels whisper ancient secrets of survival. Number 14. Osberg Ship, 834 AD. A Viking queen's burial? But who was she? The mystery deepens. Unearthed in 1904, the Osberg ship is a stunningly decorated Viking burial ship found in Norway. It carried the remains of 2 women, but their identities remain a centuries-old debate. Some say one was a Viking queen, others believe she was a powerful sorceress. Alongside them, 14 sacrificed horses, wooden sleighs, rich textiles, and even exotic herbs, suggesting a grand voyage to the afterlife. Number 13. Goksta Ship, 890 AD. Did this ship cross oceans centuries before Columbus? The evidence is shocking. Found in 1880, the Goksta ship is one of the best preserved Viking warships. Built for speed and endurance, this 23-meter-long beast was powered by 32 oarsmen and a massive sail. It was found buried with a Viking chieftain, surrounded by shields, weapons, and sacrificed animals, a clear sign of elite status. But the biggest question remains, did this ship reach North America before Columbus? Number 12. Sutton Hoo Ship, early 7th century AD. A ship buried in England? With no body? What happened? Discovered in 1939, the Sutton Hoo ship is one of the most significant Anglo-Saxon finds ever. This massive burial ship was packed with treasures, from golden armor to ornate swords. But here's the real mystery. There was no body. Historians believe it belonged to King Ridwald, but his remains completely vanished over time. Was he ever buried there? Or was this a symbolic tribute? Number 11. Nydam Boat, 310 to 320 AD. An ancient warboat, buried in a bog? But why? The Nydam boat, found in Denmark, is one of the oldest Germanic ships ever discovered. This wooden warship, built around 310 AD, was buried in a sacrificial ritual offered to the gods after a great battle. Measuring 23 meters, it was designed for stealth attacks on enemy shores. Unlike Viking ships, the Nydam boat had no sail. It was completely row-powered. But here's the twist. No human remains were found. Did warriors escape, or were they sacrificed elsewhere? The mystery still baffles historians today. The Sutton Hoo helmet, found inside the burial ship, is one of the most iconic relics in British history. It has been called the British King's Crown of War. But did you know? It was reconstructed from 500 shattered fragments. Number 10. Hjortspring Boat, 350 BC. A war canoe buried in a bog? What were they hiding? Discovered in Denmark's Hjortspring Mosebog, this 2,300-year-old war canoe is Northern Europe's oldest plank-built vessel. At 20 meters long, this Nordic warboat could carry 24 armed warriors. But here's the mystery. It was buried with 131 shields, 138 iron spearheads, and sacrificed weapons. Why? It was a war offering. This boat wasn't just abandoned. It was ceremonially laid to rest after a great battle. Its design matches ancient Nordic petroglyphs, proving prehistoric Scandinavians were already advanced shipbuilders and fierce warriors. Number 9. The Maagan Michael Ship, 400 BC. A shipwreck with a secret and a perfectly preserved toolbox? In 1985, an ancient 5th century BC wooden ship was found off Israel's coast, stunning archaeologists. What made it so special? It wasn't just a shipwreck, it was a time capsule. Inside, they found a wooden anchor and a carpenter's toolbox with perfectly preserved tools, the oldest of their kind ever found. This ship, reconstructed and successfully sailed, proves ancient Mediterranean traders were master shipbuilders. Number 8. Khufu Ship, 2500 BC. A ship buried next to the Great Pyramid? But why? In 1954, buried beside the Great Pyramid of Giza, archaeologists uncovered a 43.6-meter-long wooden ship. This wasn't any ship. It was a vessel for Pharaoh Khufu's soul to sail into the afterlife. Made of Lebanese cedar, this ship was painstakingly disassembled and hidden underground for 4,500 years. The real mystery? Why was it buried intact? Number 7. Dover Bronze Age Boat, 1550 BC. The oldest seagoing ship ever found? And it still has rope? In 1992, construction workers in Dover, England made an outstanding discovery, a 3,500-year-old wooden boat buried beneath the city streets. Unlike most ancient ships, this one still had its original twisted fiber ropes attached, a first in archaeological history. The boat's design and material suggest it was used for long-distance voyages, meaning prehistoric Britons were already sailing across the English Channel. Number 6. Ferriby Boats, 2030 to 1680 BC. 3 ancient boats that proved a shocking truth. Britons were sailors. In 1937, 3 massive 4,000-year-old wooden boats were found in East Yorkshire, England. These sewn plank boats, constructed without nails, proved early Europeans were already sailing vast distances. But here's the wild part. They were huge. The longest was over 50 feet and could carry heavy cargo or dozens of people. This suggests that long before the Romans, Britons had a thriving maritime culture. These boats are Europe's oldest known seagoing vessels, changing everything we thought we knew about prehistoric exploration. The Khufu ship was found in 1,224 pieces and had to be reconstructed by hand. It took over a decade to put it back together, revealing a design so advanced, some say it could still float today. Number 5. The Dufana Canoe, 6000 BC. An 8,000-year-old boat in Nigeria? Could Africa be the birthplace of sailing? In 1987, archaeologists made a mind-blowing discovery: an 8,000-year-old canoe buried deep in Nigeria's desert. The Dufana Canoe is the oldest known boat in Africa and the second oldest in the world. At 8.4 meters long, this dugout canoe proves that ancient Africans were already skilled sailors long before many civilizations even existed. Shockingly, this boat suggests that prehistoric humans in Africa mastered water travel thousands of years before recorded history. Number 4. Pesque Canoe, 8040 BC. The world's oldest boat, and it was almost thrown away? In 1955, Dutch workers digging a drainage ditch found a peculiar log. What they almost discarded as wood turned out to be the oldest known boat in the world. The Pesque Canoe, dating back to over 10,000 years, was carved from a single log and likely used by hunter-gatherers to navigate rivers and lakes. Some experts doubted it was even a boat, but experiments proved it could float perfectly. Number 3. The Uru boats of India, ancient tradition. These ships have been built the same way for 1,500 years? How? In Kerala, India, the Uru boats are handcrafted wooden cargo ships that have been built for over 1,500 years, without blueprints. This ancient tradition, passed down from generations to generation, creates massive ocean-going vessels without using a single sail. These ships once carried gold, spices, and silk across the Indian Ocean, making Kerala's shipbuilders some of the most skilled craftsmen in history. Number 2. The Dover Boat, 1500 BC. The world's oldest seagoing boat, buried under a street? In 1992, construction workers digging a road in Dover, England unearthed a 3,500-year-old wooden boat. This wasn't just any old wreck. This was a Bronze Age ship designed for long-distance sea travel. Even more amazing, this boat still had its original twisted fiber ropes attached. Experts believe this vessel was used to cross the English Channel, proving prehistoric Europeans were already mastering the open seas. Imagine, sailors braving the ocean long before compasses or maps even existed. Number 1. The Abu Dabira Boat, 3000 BC. A 5,000-year-old boat found in Iraq? Was it the first trading vessel? In 2018, archaeologists uncovered the Abu Dabira Boat, a 5,000-year-old wooden ship from ancient Mesopotamia, the land of the first civilizations. This boat, found in Iraq, was carefully buried, suggesting it wasn't just a vessel, it was sacred. Its advanced reed and plank construction proves that Sumerians were master shipbuilders. But the real mystery? Experts believe this may be one of the first trading vessels in history, a ship that once sailed the rivers of Mesopotamia, carrying goods across the cradle of civilization. The Abu Dabira boat was buried with care, suggesting it was laid to rest, almost like an ancient funeral for a ship. Could this mean that boats were considered sacred in Mesopotamian culture? Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you appreciate this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content on unique and old boats. And thanks for watching.